Good morning. Good morning. This is for my sunset journey. Today is Friday, January 3rd, 2020. Yes. I was meaning to do this audio for a couple of days now. I saw my mother, what was that? About a week ago, a week and a half ago. And yeah, wait a minute. I saw her on a Tuesday. That's right. I saw her on a Tuesday. Not this week, the week before. I had gotten a phone call from my brother, and he needed someone to just fill in, at least for the daytime. My other family member wasn't able to get there early to give my mother her meds. So they called me the day before and to ask me to come for the following day. So that was on a Tuesday. So I did so. It was challenging. It seems like I got there, I think it was 8:15 in the morning. Because sometimes she actually gets up a little earlier. Sometimes she might be preparing stuff at 7-something in the morning. And she would forget that she put something on the stove to cook. And so, so that's why it's also very important that someone gets up early, because she's going to attempt to cook. Her memory, her short-term memory is greatly compromised. She's more like now in the moment. So I did get there early and ringing the bell. Now, I was going to call her at the bus stop, but I actually called once I got to the house. And it may not have made a difference. Making a phone call, whether you're at a bus stop or right at the door, if they don't get up, they don't get up, So yes, I got to the door, and yes, this happened before. So I kept ringing and ringing the bell, and I also called over and over and over again, and she won't get up. So, excuse me, so even like the day before when I got the call to do them this favor, they suggested, or my brother suggested to, if she doesn't answer the door, to use the key, the spare key. And so that's what I did. I was nervous because it's going to set the alarm, but you have a few seconds before, to disarm it. But I felt weird doing that. I was shaky. but I did it, and it was okay. And yes, lo and behold, she gets up. So I think the noise of the alarm making like a beep beep, little sound, woke her up. And so I said, "Oh, it's just me. Say it's that I was there." She was still on the second floor. So everything went okay with that. It was a concern. But she responded okay. She heard my voice, and, I just know that I was there. And she comes down. She says, "When did you come?" And I still have my coat on and everything. "Oh, I just walked in, and, blah, blah, blah." So I get settled and take off my coat and everything. And I made us some breakfast. I made eggs. I think it was eggs. Yeah, I made a big omelet. I used 4 eggs, and cheese was put in it. And my mother does eat pork, so I made heated up some sausages and bacon. What is it? Was it anything else? Oh, and English muffins. And then I made a fresh pot of coffee. Yeah. So she ate of the portion, like she only wanted 1 egg, even though it was made into, I made just one large omelet. So she cuts an equivalent of a 1 egg omelet, but she ate half of it. And the bacon, she had almost 2 strips, and these little baby sausages, those little skinny ones, she ate almost 2. She ate none of the English muffin. She had orange juice. She ate all of the orange juice. It was a very small glass. She had 2 of those. So it was like maybe 2 ounces each, a glass of the orange juice. So that's about 4 ounces. And she had coffee. Okay. So that's what she had. And we watched 2 movies. Let's see, what else about that visit? Trying to remember what was the characteristic of that visit. I can't think right now. But either way, I was there, and then I left at 3 o'clock, because it gets dark soon now. But either way, I was told that week, it could have been Thursday of that week. Yeah. So it was the week before, it was the second to the last week of that year that I went. So I was told that something happened. It's concerning because of I feel the lack of maturity behind it. Now, okay, in short, it's sibling rivalry. Sibling rivalry in a nutshell. So I was told that she needed to go potty, but she was constipated. And my brother had called that he was on his way over from work, and if they needed anything, and he was told to get some like a laxative. And the laxative that they had, or stool softener, one of the two, that it was old, so they wanted to get a new one. Since the thing that they had was very old, it's 15 years old. Okay, that's old. So upon talking to him, he said that it took maybe 20 minutes to get to the house from that phone call that he made. And when he came in, it was all, there was the person that was helping her, my mom, was cleaning up. She had a little accident on herself, and the other person that was with her was cleaning up. And I'm a little upset that my brother is, he's trying to pass it off like he didn't want to mention the person's name who was with my mom. But we all know, because there's only one other person that takes care of her. It's either my brother or the other person. So I feel that he was making it dramaful, but trying to pretend, oh, he doesn't want to make waves. So why even tell anybody. And the way that he describes it, he was concerned that they gave my mom the old stool softener. But I'm thinking 20 minutes. How is that thing going to work well, evidently it worked that fast, and they were already cleaning up, mopping the floor. She had an accident in the kitchen and in the bathroom. And so I questioned, my brother who's telling me what happened and wondering why. I said, well, how come you're not mentioning their name? Why are you saying like that? We all know who's there. Oh, well, I don't want to make any drama or something like that. So I felt my brother was instigating. Now, it is, when I initially heard the story directly by him, the taking the old laxatives, that could be toxic. The person claimed that who administered it, that they had tasted it on the finger and they felt that it was okay. So I've never heard of that, and I thought it was questionable too. But see, what wasn't really stress, see that my mom is on the toilet, and they said that she was screaming. My mother's not a screamer, so imagine you have a 90-year-old woman with cancer, and now the cancer medicine had caused blood clots in the leg and swelling. This person has beautiful legs, so all of a sudden, okay, and I told them at the family meeting she shouldn't be on any of those medicines, because when I checked it out, too many side effects. But I'm the youngest one, and it was heard on deaf ears, and they even disconnected me from the conference call that I initiated. Okay, so it's a lack of respect. And so I think what happened, now I cannot stand this person's behavior, who administered the meds, the stool softener. We don't get along, and we haven't gotten along in ages. But in hearing this story, what it really sounds like what happened. Okay, she attempts to go to make a bowel movement, but it's paining her. And I think she panicked, and when my brother called, they just get the stool softener. But I guess she started screaming that, because my brother said she was screaming and insisting the person to have a hand, to dig out this stool from her bottom. So that's panic. My mother never. I know I would be scared if to hear her scream, because again, she did. What was that, about a month or so ago? She fainted, and they don't know why she fainted. She came downstairs, and when she sat in the kitchen stool, she passed out, and my brother carried her to the bathroom. I guess she was almost, semi-conscious, but then when they brought her to the bathroom, she completely collapsed, and he dialed for ambulance. Okay, so I know I would be scared if I was home alone with her and she's screaming. You wanted the safety, what's going on. You panic. And I think that's all what happened, because it's 20 minutes from the time of the phone call And then the minute, so, and again, by the time the person came, within 20 minutes, the accident already happened. Okay? So, I think that's what happened. She must have panicked or something and administered it. Okay? So, my brother's complaining, just all drama. When he came to, the door to come in, the person, oh, don't come in yet, don't come in yet. Because the person was mopping up the mess. Well, he eventually came in, and the smell of, bowel movement. And so he's complaining that it wasn't cleaned up that well, and my other sibling had left upon mopping up everything. And my brother's complaining that it wasn't mopped up enough. There was still evidence of bowel movement in certain places. Now, this person has to drive, or, it's to drive there, they have to cross a bridge, and it's time consuming. And they have a family of their own. They have a whole household and grandchildren. And I feel he's just making things worse than it is. Just in his own way, just harassing. And I was upset. I mean, when he's telling me, I spoke calmly. I said, okay, will probably happen. She had an accident on herself, and she was just trying to clean up. And as for the medicine, it is a little weird. Why would they take that? Sample it. But either way, I said, look, it sounded like they might have panicked. And because you're saying that she was in the bathroom and screaming to get the stool out from her, because she was in that much pain. I said, look, it's good that you were there, that you came by, and that you helped her in the cleanup when she left. And it was other stuff. So, yeah, how I found out was through my brother. One of my brothers called, just see how I was doing. And just before we hung up, he says, look, if you can go there more often, because something happened, and he relayed the story. So I was alarmed too. But upon talking to my brother who came by the house, it seems everything will happen, and he's creating an enemy. See, this particular brother is a troublemaker. It's someone, I feel sorry for him, but that's the same one that paid for my brother who molested me, paid for his legal defense, and had driven the car so that pervert of a brother of mine drove his kids, at least one of them. She was 1 year old at the time, or 2, and drove that child out of this, to Nassau County. So from New York City to Nassau County, so that perverted brother of mine could see the kid. So I'm angry at him with that. And that was the same brother, that drove him was the same one with the restaurant incident. Okay? It's the same one. So I don't really trust him. And I feel he's an instigator. And I don't like it. I think about coming over. Again, I don't want anything to happen to my mom. I don't want anything to happen. Yeah, so this is for the Sunset Journey channel. I just want safety for her. I feel that almost like too many cooks spoil the broth. So you have two people who are primarily there taking care of my mom. They don't get along. And yeah, my sister she's highly excitable. Even when I'm there with my mom and my other family members there's tension. It's like, I told, like, I think I brought food for all of us, lunch. And my sibling had dropped a utensil on the floor, and the person got so visibly agitated and started raising their voice at me. Said, "I'll get it, I get it, I'll pick it up." No one said anything. And I was in the car with her once, and she's kind of erratic. She's too high strung and could get us potentially in an argument. And yes, she was yelling at me and my mom. I said, stop yelling. I said, I can hear, I'm not deaf. Yeah. And another family member was witness to her yelling at my mom, our mom. So I see that it's stressing her out. I'm going to just say, it's my sister. It's stressing out my sister. Even though I don't like being around her. But if she's helping my mom, and she's stressed. She's very stressed. And I don't want to add to the fire. So that's what's going on right now. And I wanted to get this out because I did skip the information. And it really is about chronologically the events that happen upon hearing about my mom being diagnosed with cancer. Yeah, it's not going to be a pretty scene. And I have been getting anxiety, a lot of anxiety. I know something would just hit me, and like it's going to result in a panic attack. Yeah, it's not good. Wow, yeah, I was getting like that. It was last month. I think I had to rock myself to sleep. I felt a panic attack coming, and so stressed about what's happening to my mom. She's always been pretty much on top of things, and I'm dealing with past history together. I'm still dealing with that. I'm grieving. I am grieving because I see her demise happening quickly now. Medicines that I given to her that get her sick, her swollen leg. She's had fallen. God. Oh, I'm so angry. And it's part of it is sibling rivalry. They're helping, but it's like it's such a control thing happening. Even when my father was still alive, and I had come by. We had to go to get paperwork to get to apply for what do you call it? Medicaid. And I said, look, she's not eligible. He's not eligible for that. And I've been on it, and I know my father's not eligible. But we were to go to the meeting, me, my mom, and my brother. And my mother was kind of dilly-dallying. So I said, Mom, I'll just jump in the shower and I'll look for the paperwork. And then my brother had comes. What are you doing in there? And starts yelling. And he made me feel like I was a thief. And I explained to him that she's in the bathroom, for time constraints, because we have to get to the meeting with the lawyer. And I was trying to find the paperwork so we can bring to the lawyer. So I was just trying to help out. Well, when that happened to me, I said, I'm not going to even bother to come. That's how I felt at that time. He was really at a control thing. That same brother. See, it's like when you're doing everything to try to help, and they totally ignored me when we got to the lawyer. So the lawyer took $7,000 from them, and I was trying to, talk, and they cut me off. Well, I should say the lawyer cut me off, and my brother didn't challenge him. He said, hey, that question. Because, he was quiet that whole time. And here I'm trying to interject that he's not eligible. Let's think about, I'm not going to tell him he's not eligible, but it was something, and it was something important. And it was to question something about the lawyer. And he didn't come to my aid. Say, hey, well, what is the answer to that question? I don't remember exactly what it was. I don't remember. But I was trying to let them know by presenting it as a question. And none of them said anything. They just handed the money over. So again, like the choice of what type of medical treatment for the cancer. And I have a science background and a nutrition background. And they don't listen. The general consensus was that she's not to take it, let it take its course, the cancer, and just keep her comfortable. And I did present, there were alternative therapies. I heard about this thing, what's that, vitamin B17, the types of stuff. So, again, it's alternative, and but at least, not to take the meds, because the meds, and I see with cancer treatment, people don't die from the cancer, they die from the treatment. Hear that? They don't die from cancer, they die from the treatment. Radiation is cancer causing. Those other meds cause so much side effects, So, yeah, that's what's happening. So, she probably, it's just happening, the side effects, her mental ability is now all of a sudden, I almost forgot. They said she's been having headaches for 2 weeks. Now, I was there just a week ago. She never made mention of a headache. Yeah, it wasn't any headache. So I think it was later on that week she started complaining about headache. So if she still has the headache, I would just, I'll go to the doctors with her. Then what I'm worried about, maybe there could be a clot in the brain. Oh, brother. Yeah, when it rains, it pours. Well, one thing I can say, she She lived her life with strength. She did. You know, yeah, she was relatively a healthy 90-year-old, you know? She pretty much was. And it was just, I mean, her memory loss, yes, but, you know, you're 90 years old. But that May, she was diagnosed in May. And then the so-called medicine, yeah, it's taking its toll. It's taking its toll. You know, my friend from Hawaii, she died this month a year ago. Yeah, she died in January. I think it was the last week of January. Or the first week of February. Yeah, she died on a Friday. So, yeah, it was Friday, the first week of Friday. And she did all the traditional treatments for cancer. She learned about her cancer. She was having leg pains. And upon going to the doctors, so whatever what diagnostic they did, it was discovered she had cancer. And I think it was in the breast. She was a smoker. And her battle was okay, she was diagnosed in May. She died that January. She was being taken care of by her daughter and then her sister. Yeah, her daughter had children, young children. It was hard for her to navigate. So her twin sister, they stayed with each other. Yeah, the two are twins, actually. And I think she stayed with her sister for a week or 2 weeks, and it was getting difficult. Yeah, the cancer was, yeah, she was at her latter stage. So they found a hospice for her. And yeah, upon going to the hospice, the doctor said she has, what was that, 2 weeks? 2 weeks or 1 week? Yeah, she was at her, yeah. So she was either there for that 2 weeks or a week. And then they said that maybe she even has 3 days, actually, no more than a week. But the doctor thinks it would be about 3 days. So, wow. I guess why I'm mentioning that about my friends from Hawaii, that the diagnosis was done in May with my friend and now with my mom. And then the quick decline, you know, and you start to, you know, because I guess mobility issues. Yeah. So I think it's going to happen very soon. So it's January now, and now the clots and now the headache. And should be a delicate candidate if she's to get surgery. And then now the poo-poo. What happened? My mother's never been constipated. What's interesting, my brother, they went to a Christmas party at my cousin's. Now, I've ate at my cousin, just traditional foods. She's eaten it before. So why? So he was saying that he was constipated too, but I think my brother's always constipated, you know, has to strain. So you're just wondering what's going on. What I'm thinking that she may have blockage, you know, maybe the cancer is blocking her bowels to move. That's what I'm thinking. And the headache. Yeah. When it rains and pours. I'm so sorry. I really love my mom. She was my idol. But I think that component, that female component, as it pertains to my father, kicked in. So no longer being treated like a daughter, but like some other woman. I feel that there's a resentment and a jealousy against me. And it was revealed by that brother of mine, the sentiment, what they really feel about me. Also, my little doggy is snoring. Yeah, it's my little lilac. Yeah, so, yeah, that's what's happening. Things get revealed. What people really think about you. They were saying that, oh, I feel like I'm entitled. I never felt that way, of entitlement. They're confusing my having work instability and in a rush to try to find a job and keep it. They consider that entitlement. Isn't that insensitive? See how insensitive they are? They never had to jump around and try to find work. Work was very unstable for me. It was such an anxiety producing thing. And I'm not even working now. I haven't been in the job market since 2004, I think it was. 2004, but yeah, I had, yeah, 2004, but, oh, back over, but it was December of 2003, really the last time. So it is what it is, and how family members could, their jealousy and their real sentiment against you, and they talk that they do behind your back. And some of you, those of you who are listening, as far as this point of the audio, may ask, well, aren't you talking behind their back? I am talking, yes, but this is really to a diary. It's not designed to badmouth. It's leaving a log about what's happening in the dynamics of things. I can't believe that my mother is at possibly her final stages of life. She's always been, she's very mobile, but yeah, the past 3 years, when I first saw evidence that there was something happening mentally with her cognitive ability, that was concerning. And, but everything else, she looked like my mom, but 3 years ago I saw the first sign of it. And it was scary. That was the time she had said something that, to the effect that if she went outside with her hair looking like this, people would think that she's a crazy woman. Something like that, she said. And I thought that was odd of my mother to say that. And at that point, she did look like what she was saying. And it scared me. And I noticed her limbs, like she had stood up. And the sun, we were in the TV room, and the sun was shining from behind her. And at that point, she looked like, I'm just going to say, I saw a spirit of death upon her. Her extremities, her lower part of her arms and the lower part of her legs were discolored and had a translucent look. It was something weird. It was the first time I ever saw that in her. And at that point, I got scared. Yep. Her thinking. And then that, a couple months later, yeah, because it was her, I think it was in February. And it was winter, it was snow. And yes, I had brought my dogs. That's right. That's right. I had gone to visit her. And what was the thing that happened? Oh, that's right. She was taking a nap. And then when she woke up disoriented. And she was in a panic mode. And it scared me. So, I raced home because I said, okay, I'll come back. I'll stay over, but I have to get my dogs and bring my clothes and my dogs and provisions so that I could stay over the house to watch over her for a couple of days. No matter how long it would take. That's what I did. Yeah, so that was about 3 years ago. Yeah, it was in February. So, yeah, something about February. Yeah, I'm very troubled about everything. And I want her comfortable. I sense that whatever was going to happen is going to happen quickly. I want peace for my mom. My mom seems to be in good spirits. Yeah, whatever conversation you have with her, it's pretty good, and I try to make her laugh. Like we were watching the last time I saw her. Yeah, they had like this music playing in the movie. It was a comedy, and I was acting silly with the music. I was like play dancing. Hey, mom, come on in, yeah, join me. And she kind of laughed. Yeah. So I try to keep things very light and airy. Yeah. So that's what's happening. And boy, I didn't even hear about my aunt and uncle. They're not doing well either. They have now 24-hour care. My mother should have, I did, I investigated my brother's selection. He told me about some agency, and I did go there in person, but she's not eligible. They don't, it's a school that trains people. They don't get clients. Yeah, I went there. Yeah, they were supposed to be at one location, but they moved. So I went all the way to Harlem, and then they said, no, it's downtown in the financial district, so I had to go all the way downtown. And that's where I found out they don't they don't take clients. And then I went to another place on 30-something Street. Yeah, I walked over there. And I don't like what I see these days. Yeah, she didn't like me, the lady. I offended her when I said that I wanted, when I asked for more like what type of person, that, I wanted someone that has good hygiene and clean hands. I said hands are very important to me. And anyone touch my mom, I want them to have nice, well manicured hands. And that the person be, if they're not citizens, that they have their working papers. And she spoke out. She said, "Oh well, we can only hire people who have documents because we have they have to be registered with the city and blah blah blah." Now everybody knows. Okay, we have a whole bunch of people from other countries, and people get who they can get, and people don't always submit documentation. You know, this the people getting paid under the books, right? That happens. But I said that, at least especially the part with the legal status. See, that's important because my experience working with people who didn't have their papers, they go berserk. And the fear of being caught by authorities, it doesn't permit them to really focus on their work. And that's just my experience. I had to work with them. But so after upon saying that, the person that I'm talking to, she was a white lady from Italy. But all the people working there are all West Indians and African people. And they just look like they're just on there. They just look real scruffy. I'm not saying this to be picky. I'm making an observation. These aren't the cream of the crop people in healthcare. And when I see white people, when they do hire blacks, they also are short with the money. Now minimum wage is supposed to be $15 an hour. Now these people don't look like that they receive $15 an hour, in my opinion. In my opinion. I work for companies that hire people that don't have the documents. And anybody could fake papers, and anybody could just slip someone through the cracks because they can, right? And I'm aware of that. But when I say it's not designed to be sound like the arrogant American, I'm not trying to be that. And that's not my motive. But anyone touching my mother, I want my mother to be safe. And it's not just to be the bigot, the xenophobe. I've worked with people, most people that I know, growing up and when I was in the work market, most of them were from other countries. Very few Americans I knew, and very few New Yorkers. So I come in through a different perspective, and I welcomed the foreigner, because my grandparents are foreigners. And I always liked the idea of the immigrant experience. I romanticized it. I really didn't know my grandparents. Well, my grandfather I knew, I remember him. But I longed for a sense of heritage and family. So I was all open, and I enjoyed living with them. I used to live in Harlem, on the edge of Harlem. And everybody was from somewhere else. Yeah, that part. All the stores were from the Caribbean and Spanish speaking. And I loved it. But I see how the workforce exploits immigrants. And here you have a woman. Now they're able to get all these black women to do the home care work. But for the manager, you get a white person. Why is that? And that white woman is a nurse. There are plenty of black nurses in New York City. Oh, yes. But they don't have it. And I think the reason for that is racism. That's what I'm getting at. Racism. So these are the thoughts that are on my mind. And I want to share it. And when time comes to review it, to understand my process of the latter stage of a parent. I already lost my father. I was in the room when he transitioned. I'd like to be in the room with my mom when she transitions. I really would. But I see it's not going to be a pretty scene. Sibling rivalry. I love my mother. I love my mother. I'm sorry. I want to come to terms with what's happening with her. She was my role model. She made necklaces. She liked big watches. And I adopted that style. I make necklaces. Yeah, I have a whole slew. Maybe I'll make a nice necklace for her to wear when that day comes. Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe I'll do that. It'd be like a goodbye gift. And I like to put the statue, that little statue, I bought it for my father. And I said that I wanted my father to be buried with it. And both my sister and my mom said no. Then my mother said, I like it. I said, oh, okay. But no, I don't want that statue to get in anybody's hands. They said I could take it home. Here's the Yadro girl. It's very pretty. I got it in Spain when I was in the military. Yeah, it's worth several hundred, I believe, by now. It cost me 100. Yeah, I want them to be buried with it. Yeah, I want her to be buried with it. So, and if she's not buried with it, I think I want to destroy it. I don't want anybody to have it. I mean, it's beautiful. Yeah, but I bought that for my father. Yeah, I guess when that time comes. So maybe if I go over today, maybe I'll bring it home. And when that day comes, I want her to have it. I want them to have it. It's a part of me. That thing's supposed to represent me, and I want them to have it. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on. I know it's going to get ugly. And I know who's going to be taking over in the house and do all the cooking and stuff like that. And you know whose wife is going to do that. I get angry because I know how they really feel about her, my mother. Yeah, I was there when she said what she said. Oh, don't talk about my wife. See that? It's no respect. It's absolutely no respect. Well, 2020, regardless, I want it to be a blessing year for me, regardless of sibling rivalry. Yeah. So I'm going to be signing off. I thank you all who listen. And this is just a learning experience for all of us to hear and understand. You are not alone, folks. Those who are listening to this, you're not alone. But I wish you all peace and love this 2020, January 3rd, 2020. It is now 5:25 a.m. Bye-bye, folks.